we are coming to you with a real talk video answering all your questions that you guys have been asking us for a long time now.
Yeah, I feel like this video is long overdue. We keep getting the same emails and YouTube comments in relation to why did you quit RVing and where are you now? Well, as you can see from behind me, we are no longer in the US. We'll get to that at the end of the video in terms of where we're at and where is this channel going. But to address the question of why did we quit RVing, was it something to do with the grand design? Was it something to do with RVing? Would you do anything different? We want to put all those questions to rest. So that is the point of this video. So let's get right to it.
Yeah, so I think the number one question that we get almost daily is, was it the grand design? Is that why we sold it? And the answer is no, it was not the grand design.
Yeah, I would say a resounding no. A lot of people saw that we had issues with the grand design. If you haven't seen those videos, we outlined everything in previous videos. We'll link to them in the description below. We had our fair share of issues with the grand design, but that had nothing to do with why we sold the RV. If anything, grand design went above and beyond to take care of us. One thing I do want to point out that I didn't know when we started RVing was in relation to RV warranty. We went out and bought a brand new RV thinking that we were going to have a warranty and anything that broke we were going to get fixed along the way, and that is true to a certain extent. What happens in the summertime is everybody has RV problems, so you can't get into the dealer and you can't get into a mobile tech.
Well, you can. You're just gonna wait like
2 to 3 months. Yeah,
and with us moving around, we were full time and we were bouncing all over the place. So yeah, for us it was impossible. So that's definitely something to consider if you're full timing and if you're moving around all the time.
But that is across all RV manufacturers. It's not just Grand Design. It's all RV manufacturers. So the point is, Grand Design went above and beyond to take care of us while we were on the road. They were willing to send me the parts to fix while we were on the road, most notably the low pressure regulator for the gas, for the propane, as well as the microwave because we were unable to cook. They overnighted us the parts our second day to Colorado. So we got these parts. I put them in, no problem. So I gotta say that Grand Design went above and beyond in terms of warranty work. I was real happy with them in communication. So no complaints whatsoever.
Yeah, people ask all the time, would we still recommend them? Would we buy again?
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So that brings us to why did we quit RVing? And the biggest thing is for us, it was just the work-life balance while being on the road.
Yeah, it was a lifestyle thing. I don't know how much you guys know about us, but we have actually been traveling for 5-6 years now, something like that, prior to the RV. But we picked up a lot of subscribers and a lot of new followers after we got the RV and started doing that trip. But prior to that, we had been traveling the world for 5 to 6 years and we work on the road. We are not retired. We don't have a bunch of money. As much as I wish that was the case, we do work on the road, and we had finished traveling, well, we thought we had finished traveling the world for 5 years and wanted to come home so that we had our own transportation, and the idea of towing our house behind us sounded really good so that Brittany could take all her outfits and shoes with us.
Of course. No, the biggest appeal was just not living out of a bag anymore, being able to unpack our clothes, put them in the closet, have all of our stuff with us and take it while we go for different seasons. And yes, I know that's like a girl problem and a first world problem, but that to me was one of the most appealing things about RVing.
Well, and two, for me, I think one of the biggest things that I liked, or the idea that I liked, was being able to tow my office with me. I really liked that idea, and I thought that's the way that it was gonna work, and it didn't exactly work out that way. And what I had envisioned was us towing the travel trailer out to some BLM land, staying there for a week to 10 days, having high-speed internet because we got a cell booster and all this. And it just didn't work out that way. We did everything in our ability to make that happen, including having Verizon, T-Mobile, cell booster. We did everything that we could to make that happen. And then once we got out there, we found out it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, exactly. So the cell booster did help in terms of we might have had no internet and it could give us like a little bit to be able to check emails and send messages. And so a lot of people want to say, no, like we get internet all these places. But for us, the difference is we needed to be able to do more than just check emails. Like our work, it's a lot more involved, and we needed like better internet speeds for downloading and uploading and all that good stuff. So
yeah, we haven't really got into this much in the channel, and maybe we will some more in the future. Just depends on what people want to see. But we manage a portfolio of websites, so we are 100% dependent on internet. And like I said, we've gone around the world a couple times now and been able to do that. So we thought it was going to be possible at home. And it is, again, to a certain extent, and it all depends on where you're at. So what happened was we were unable to stay at the BLM land. We knew we could get internet reception or cell reception at some of the state parks as well as the paid for campgrounds. We wanted to stay on the BLM land or the state parks, and what actually happened?
Yeah, so we kind of, like Charlie said, we envisioned us like boondocking off the grid, but with internet, the majority of the time. So we didn't really do much planning ahead. We thought we would like roll into these places, set up camp for like 10 days or however long we wanted to be there, and then just carry on when we were ready to go. And so we didn't do much planning in that sense. But yeah, like you said, we found out boondocking wasn't really for us. It was really hard being off the grid with like the work situation. So we preferred the state parks. They are the most like campground, like nature-y feel.
Yeah,
like
you just
feel like
feel
you're
like
camping,
you're camping, yeah.
And they're the most affordable. But the biggest problem with the state parks is not planning ahead, because most of the state parks, people are booking like 6 months or more in advance. So trying to find a state park to camp was really difficult at the last minute. Like I would find something like Sunday through Thursday or Sunday through Wednesday, but then come weekend, we had to move again.
Right. And I think what a lot of people will think initially, which is what I thought, because before we embarked on this journey, we watched a ton of YouTube videos before we decided to do this. And a lot of people were saying, okay, just plan ahead. Or what you might be thinking right now is, we'll just do a better job planning. Know the campgrounds you go into and know the cell reception that you're getting into. And we thought that is the way that it was going to be, and you can plan accordingly. And if you plan going into a campground that you think is going to have LTE service, and then you get there just to find out that there is no reception whatsoever, or as Brittany says, there's some reception on this side of the campground and you go to this side and there's not. So
yeah, it makes a big difference, and we found that out plenty of times.
Yeah, so you can only plan so much. You can spend so much time on Allstays, Campidium, whatever app is your favorite app, and you can try to plan as best as you possibly can. But what happens is there's inevitably going to come a time when you get to a campground and there's not the cell reception, or there's not the hookups, or there's not water. That happened to us a couple times where she told me there's water and I got there and I'm like, you're kidding me. We got to hitch back up and go get water. So those kind of things are definitely going to happen, and you can't plan for them. And then what happens is you get yourself behind if you work full-time on the road like we do. So you plan on working in a place for 3 or 4 days, and then all of a sudden something happens, whether it's water, internet, whatever, and then you get behind. Then you got to plan, then you get behind. So it's this constant catch-up game. And Brittany spent a majority of the 8 months that we were on the road just planning. She wasn't working, only planning our next move, which really hindered our business.
Yeah, it was definitely this constant, where are we going to go next? And then when we get there, we only have, say, 3 days to visit the destination where we're at and try to work or catch up from work, because we started out the trip, I think from like month 1, we got behind on work. So we were constantly trying to catch up, trying to see the destination, but then also trying to figure out where are we going next. And it was just this nonstop vicious cycle.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess the moral of the story is trying to figure out why we quit RVing. It has nothing to do with the grand design. It has 100% to do with our lifestyle. And I realized that the demographic of the people that are watching these videos are either retired or they're looking to do what we do, which involves working on the road. So if you are retired, a lot of this does not apply to you. You guys can go out there and boondock, but I gotta say that it's not only the internet reception that was the problem. We are terrible boondockers to begin with. Yeah, we tried to do that. We tried multiple times to do that.
We wanted to be those people that could just go off the grid and not shower for a few days and not worry about anything. And we know a lot of people that are like that, and we really envy that lifestyle, but
I really do.
It just did not make us happy. We found ourselves, we would be grumpy, or we would be more focused on things like how are we going to get water, how are we going to save water, and not focused on like the work and the things that really we need to be focused on. So it didn't make for a good situation for us.
Yeah, and I mean, now thinking back, like I realize how ridiculous it sounds that we would be focused on how much water can we use, where can we get water next, where are we going to dump our tanks, but it was a very, very involved process, which then detracted from us working, which was the ultimate goal. We wanted to have the freedom to travel where we wanted, when we wanted, and be able to work. That was a huge piece of the puzzle. So like I said, the moral of the story is if you don't have to work or you don't need internet service, this video might not apply to you, but we just want to tell you our story and why we stopped RVing, and a lot of it has to do with that work-life balance, which brings us to where we're at now and where this channel is going, because we got a lot of questions of why am I watching this channel and where is this channel going?
Yeah, so going back to like the campgrounds and where we were staying, the end of the trip, we ended up finding ourselves more and more at RV parks, mainly because they had the amenities, they had the internet, the full hookups, and that allowed us to focus more on, okay, we can get some work done, we can go see the destination, but then we also thought, you know, we're paying 40 to 50, sometimes more dollars a night for these RV parks, and we don't really feel like we're camping, so really what's the point of being in a campground or in an RV? And we started kind of comparing paying $45, $50 a night at a campground versus the way that we used to travel, where we traveled the world multiple times. And
a couple times around, yeah.
There was maybe 2 or 3 times ever that we stayed in Airbnbs that were more than $50 a night. Yeah,
I think the point that she's getting to is RVing was way more expensive than we thought it was going to be. I thought that not only were we going to be able to go where we want, when we want, with the gear that we want, but also cheaper, because that's the picture that was kind of painted to us on YouTube, and it was everything but that. It was more expensive. It was actually more expensive than our domestic life. Brittany did a fantastic job while we were on the road, documenting all our expenses, and
every dollar spent, yeah.
And then comparing it to our life back in Florida. So
exactly, I have all those blogs on I have all those posts on the blog, and I break down all of the expenses, how much we spent a month, where that money went, and so you can kind of see a comparison between I think it was five or 6 months on the road versus living in Florida just in a regular house and doing domestic life. Right. And we found, we were actually saving money or spending less money in Florida as opposed to being on the road. That being said, we weren't seeing all these wonderful places and getting to like travel the United States, so there's something to be said for that, but it was definitely more expensive to be on the road than we thought.
Yeah, I mean, don't get us wrong, we're not discounting it whatsoever. It was a fantastic lifestyle, and we are so lucky to be doing what we did. We just want to put it out there and give you the hard numbers, because that's what I like to see on YouTube. I don't want to see anyone sugarcoat it. In fact, I've even had a few people on YouTube say how negative I am, and I'm not negative. I'm just a realist. I want to tell you guys how it is. I don't want to sugarcoat anything, because that is the type of people that I like to watch on YouTube. I just like the people that are
like
going
to keep it real.
Yeah, exactly. So the whole thing is with us is hopefully now we have enough content between overseas as well as back home, not only in the RV, but as well as domestic life, so that you guys can make a comparison in terms of cost. How much does it cost to live domestic life? How much does it cost to live in an RV? And this is where the channel is going.
Yeah, and before you dive into that, I think we also need to say too that RVing can be done on a budget. We were not trying to RV like on a budget and save a bunch of money. We were trying to just live our normal lifestyle while on the road. But many people we know travel for very little on the road. If you're boondocking and if you're looking for ways to save money, it definitely can be done.
But the flip side of that is we know a lot of people that are traveling way more expensive. They might spend 10 grand a month. Who knows? You could spend $1,500 a month if you're really pinching pennies, or you could spend 10 grand, or you could fall somewhere in the middle like us, and between $4,500 and $5 grand a month is what we were spending, which is, like Brittany said, more than we were spending in domestic life. But we did see some really cool places. And that brings us to now, and where is this channel going? As you can see over my shoulder at the beginning of the video, we mentioned that we are not in the US anymore. We are actually right now in Zagreb, Croatia. So we're gonna spend the next 3 to 4 months, I think, something like that, in the Balkans or in Eastern Europe, somewhere in Eastern Europe. And then in the fall, we might make it back to Asia. And what we really want to focus on is cost of living and what you get for your dollar in specific locations. Where we're sitting right now is in an Airbnb. This is $45 a night. We are smack dab in the city center of a capital city in Croatia, so you get an idea of a private RV park versus an Airbnb.
You get, for the same price practically. Yeah, and actually we already have a video filmed for you, our first video in Croatia, and I do an apartment tour so you can actually see what a $45 a night apartment gets you in Europe.
As well as a walk around the city. And we're not trying to sway people one way or the other. We just realized, like I said, the demographic of the people watching the video are either retired or they want to be doing what we're doing, which is working online. So they have to be cognizant of how much money they're spending. And we've seen more value in the Balkans as well as Asia. So we really kind of want to focus on that and show you the day-to-day life and show you how much things cost in terms of accommodation, cell phone, food, beer, coffee, etc. We really want to hammer that so that you guys can make a comparison in terms of RV life as well as abroad life or even domestic life. And that's not to say that we're not coming back to RV life. There's a small part of me that really wants to go back home and buy a Class C.
That's like the other question we always get, what would we do differently? And we've talked about this a lot, and I think there are two different ways we could go about it. Either one, if we had the travel trailer or a fifth wheel or something again, we would definitely have to plan places in advance.
Way in advance.
Maybe RV parks or something that we could book for like a couple weeks at a time. That way we know we can sit still somewhere for a few weeks, get work done while we explore, and then move on to the next place. But I think even the better option for us would be a Class C.
Yeah, Class C. Or, you know, another thing that I've really thought about and what led me to selling the RV, which is kind of like an idea I've not seen anyone else do on YouTube. And maybe I'll coin this term, I don't know, but it's the Airbnb hop. Because I was telling Brittany that if we look at our expenses and how much money we were spending in the travel trailer, we could basically go to the locations that we've now found that we liked, rent an Airbnb, and even if it costs $1,500 or $2,000 a month, we would still come out the same at the end of the month as if we were in the travel trailer. Sure, we're not going to cover as much ground, but we found those locations that we like. There's some locations that we would have never found without the travel trailer, so that is one of the benefits of the travel trailer. But for us, being able to work, now that we know the locations that we want to go to, it almost makes sense to go there, rent a place for a month, 2 months, maybe even 3 months, set up shop, do work, and explore it slowly, which is pretty much what we're going to be doing in Europe.
Yeah, exactly, which is what we're doing in Europe and Asia. So I think if we did the States again, we would do that or
the Class C. Just so we're more nimble, because if you get somewhere and there's not internet, well, in a Class C, it's a lot quicker to run to a Walmart and do an overnight boondock versus what we experienced. We tried it, like 2 or 3 times?
Yeah, we weren't very good at it.
We just weren't very good at it because we didn't have AC. It was hotter than hell.
It was noisy.
I know, and I don't want to sound like we're this prissy traveler because we're definitely not, and I think you guys realize that. Again, we're just trying to keep it real, but when you get into central Missouri in the middle of summer, it's 90 degrees and 90% humidity, and you try to go to bed at night and it's hotter than hell and you can't put the windows open because it's also raining, it's a problem, right? Whereas in a Class C or even a Class B or whatever, you can flip the AC on with an onboard generator and you're good to go. So it's just different things.
Yeah, there's a big debate on the Class C versus travel trailer versus Class A, and I think honestly,
we could do a whole different video.
Everybody is different, and everybody is gonna have their own way that they travel and whatever
suits your needs. I mean,
exactly.
Everybody's different, and like I said, a lot of our viewers are not going to have to worry about a lot of things that we've worried about. So it's just one of those things we want to throw out there because we want to make videos that we would want to watch on YouTube. We don't want to give you the fluff. We don't want to sugarcoat anything. We just want to tell you the way it is. If you are working online and you do need internet, this is what we've experienced. So we've moved on from the RV. We're right now in Europe. We're gonna try our damnedest to keep you up to date. It is a lot of work, and as we've said multiple times, we do have a full-time job, so the videos are second rate.
Yeah, they're secondary to our primary work, so that's why a lot of times we do get behind on videos, and yeah, they're not our first priority, but we do want to keep making them for you guys and for us. Yeah, we'd like to be able to look back on our own memories.
It's fun to watch back what we've done because we've done a lot of stuff. If you guys haven't seen, we were actually on House Hunters International in Thailand as well. So we've done a gamut of things. So it's fun just to go back and look at those. And the best thing you guys can do is subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. It's what encourages us to keep going, because otherwise, what else are we doing this for? We're not making any money.
Leave us comments. Tell us what you want to see.
Drop us
what
an
you
email.
Want to hear. Yeah, we're definitely open to anything. And
tell me I'm negative. I love hearing that.
He hears it every day from me. But we do hope you guys stick around for our future videos.
Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this answers your questions. If we did not answer any of your questions, drop us a comment, shoot us an email. We're happy to answer them. If you want to see more videos like this, give us a thumbs up, make us a suggestion. We're willing to do whatever helps you guys out, because that's exactly what we were looking for in YouTube videos. And our next video will be from here,
from Zagreb, our apartment tour. So stay tuned.